The factory loomed eerily against the moonlit sky, its windows like eyes reflecting a sense of abandonment. I had always heard rumors about strange occurrences during the night shift, but nothing could prepare me for what I was about to experience. As I entered the factory, a chill ran down my spine. The air was heavy with an unsettling silence, broken only by the distant hum of machinery. Shadows danced on the walls, playing tricks on my mind. My co-worker, Jake, seemed unfazed by the atmosphere. He led me through the maze of conveyor belts and dimly lit corridors, sharing tales of unexplained footsteps and whispers that echoed through the night. We reached the assembly line, where rows of machines stood dormant. Jake's face turned pale as he pointed out a machine that seemed to be running on its own, producing a chilling tune that sent shivers down my spine. I dismissed the eerie occurrence as a malfunction and continued my work. But as the hours passed, the machines began to show signs of life. Tools clanged, and materials moved as if guided by an invisible hand. Jake's voice trembled as he suggested we leave. Just as we turned to go, the lights flickered and went out. Panic surged through me as I heard whispered voices in the darkness. Using the light of our phones, we navigated through the factory, the whispers growing louder and more urgent. My heart pounded as I realized we were not alone. Something unseen was stalking us. Suddenly, a piercing scream echoed through the factory, freezing us in our tracks. We followed the sound, finding a maintenance room with a flickering light. Inside, we discovered a blood-soaked uniform. Terror consumed me as I realized the gruesome truth. A co-worker had met a horrifying fate. Panic and dread welled up within me as I realized we were trapped with a malevolent force. With no way to call for help, Jake and I tried to find an escape route. But every corridor seemed to shift, leading us in circles. The factory had transformed into a twisted labyrinth of nightmares. Hours passed like eternity as the whispers grew louder, taunting us with unintelligible words. Shadows moved on their own, twisting into grotesque shapes that seemed to feed off our fear. Exhausted and desperate, we stumbled upon an old office. As we huddled inside, I noticed an old journal, its pages filled with chilling accounts of previous night shift workers' encounters with the supernatural. The journal described a ritual gone wrong, an attempt to summon a malevolent entity. The factory had become a conduit for the spirit's rage, tormenting anyone who dared enter during the night. We realized that our only hope lay in undoing the ritual. Armed with information from the journal, we ventured deeper into the factory's heart, facing more terrifying sights and sounds. Using the journal's instructions, we gathered the few items we needed to break the curse. But as we neared the ritual site, the entity's power intensified, causing objects to levitate and the very air to crackle with energy. With trembling hands, we began the ritual, chanting words that felt foreign and ancient. The factory seemed to quake in response, a maelstrom of fury and chaos. As we completed the ritual, an otherworldly howl echoed through the factory. The air grew still, the shadows receded, and the malevolent presence vanished, leaving an eerie calm in its wake. Exhausted but victorious, Jake and I emerged from the factory at the first light of dawn. The once eerie place now seemed quiet and ordinary. Our nightmare was over, but the memory of that night would forever haunt us. We reported our experience to the authorities, but the factory's dark history remained hidden. The malevolent entity had been appeased, but we knew that the factory's secrets would continue to lure unsuspecting victims. Years passed, and the factory was eventually demolished. But the whispers, the shadows, and the memory of that night lived on. The malevolent force had been vanquished, but its legacy would forever cast a chilling shadow. In the aftermath of our harrowing experience, Jake and I struggled to return to normalcy. The factory's haunting presence seemed to linger even as we went about our daily lives. Months later, I received an unexpected package. Inside was the old journal we had found during that fateful night. Its pages were filled with new entries, written in a language I couldn't decipher. As I translated the pages with the help of experts, I uncovered the truth. The ritual we had performed had not banished the entity, but merely contained it. The factory's demolition had unleashed it once again. Terrified yet determined, I reached out to Jake. Together, we realized that we were the only ones who could stop the entity for good. Armed with newfound knowledge, we embarked on a mission to end its reign of terror. The journal revealed that the entity's power was tied to a specific artifact hidden within the factory's ruins. Armed with this information, we ventured back to the site of our initial horror. Navigating the rubble of the demolished factory was no easy task. Shadows seemed to dance in the corners of our vision, and the air was thick with a sense of malevolence. As we reached the heart of the ruins, we discovered a hidden chamber. Inside was the artifact, an ancient amulet pulsating with dark energy. We knew that destroying it was our only hope. The ritual to destroy the amulet was intricate and dangerous. We chanted incantations as the entity's fury manifested around us, but we held our ground, determined to end its grip on the world. As the amulet shattered, a shockwave of energy rippled through the ruins. The entity's anguished wails echoed in the air, growing weaker and weaker until they finally faded into silence. With the entity banished and the amulet destroyed, the factory's curse was broken at last. The ruins stood in sullen stillness, no longer a vessel for malevolence. Jake and I had faced the unimaginable and emerged victorious, forever changed by the horrors we had encountered. And so, our chilling tale comes to an end. The factory's darkness has been laid to rest, and the shadows that once haunted our nights have been dispelled. But in the depths of our memories, the echoes of that night will remain, a reminder that even in the face of the unknown, courage and determination can overcome the darkest of forces.